Today we are going to play the hardest map. Very hard. We cannot win this one. Perhaps I will die more often. But we will practice this map.
This is a simulation game set in a virtual world and does not represent real life. Please play in moderation, take frequent breaks, and play responsibly.
Good morning.
Team match.
Today we are going to just start our class with the chapter number 2. Those who are present today, whether you are present on yesterday,
The blue team has scored.
those who are present, whether you are present in the last class, that is yesterday. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we start with the chapter. It is the properties and fates of environmental contaminants. First of all, why should we know the properties of any contaminant? It is very obvious that how the contaminant will behave in the environment and how it will propagate in the environment. That is, these two are the important issues. And we have to reduce the concentration of the contaminant, the amount of contaminant, and therefore we have to take some kind of artificial measure, that is called treatment. So behavior of the contaminant in the environmental system, that should be known, and at the same time what would be the final state of the contaminant after the treatment, that is also important. And perhaps there may be that the treatment, whatever you thought about, that is only oriented for temporary removal, but subsequently the same contaminant may come again by means of the sludge. If proper sludge separation is not
यहाँ पे
taken.
सब pro players खेलते हैं.
So, why we should go for knowing the properties and the fates of environmental contaminants? That will be clear from the content from the text which is given in page number 23. Page number 23, paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. So what I am seeing that Prachi, hello. Prachi, you just read out the section.
Yes, sir. Which paragraph?
23, page number 23.
Yes, sir.
Under
Paragraph
the chapter
first.
number, yes, first paragraph.
Okay, sir. To effectively evaluate the usefulness of a proposed product design or production line change, the environmental impacts of the changes must be known. This means that the decision maker must have some basic understanding of the materials involved and their environmental and public health impacts. He or she must also understand the fate of these materials in the environment, since these fates will often dictate the long-term risks and costs associated with disposal of a particular material. Disposal of a more toxic material will not always lead to greater long-term costs to the industry, because that material may be easily degradable and short-lived in the environment. Moreover, the contaminant, although very toxic, may be essentially immobile at the disposal point in the environment, minimizing any potential risk. In addition to evaluating the economic advantages of making process or process chemical changes, anyone contemplating such changes should investigate the properties of the existing byproducts and any new byproducts anticipated from the changes and determine their environmental implications.
You continue the next paragraph also.
Okay, sir. Many of these environmental impact assessments will need to be made by a qualified engineer or scientist, but the plant engineer or business manager should have enough understanding of the byproduct properties and environmental fates to be able to make an informed judgment as to the best decision for the plant. This decision maker does not have to be an environmental engineer or chemist. The impacts and fates in the environment of the contaminants commonly encountered in industrial waste and some of their pertinent properties are discussed in this chapter. With an understanding of these concepts, the person contemplating a waste minimization initiative can make a more informed decision.
Okay, stop. Now, I told you that what is the purpose of knowing the properties and fate of contaminants. It is clearly discussed in the first paragraph which has been read out. That means impact of the contaminant on the environment, that we have to understand, and necessary action to be taken towards the treatment or prevention of that contaminant. Now, how will we proceed to this matter? First of all, industry, before speaking of industry, environmental impact assessment study, that is EIS study, it needs to be undertaken. It will explicitly highlight on the tentative amount of contaminant that will be generated from industrial process, and what would be the need effect on the environment, and if it exceeds the permissible limit as per the discharge or emission standard, we have to take some mitigation measures that will be written in the environmental management plan. And I think you are aware that those are coming from civil engineering are very much aware about the environmental impact assessment. So, environmental impact assessment, this is the first document which will highlight the quantum of contaminant that will be generated from any kind of industrial process, and what should be the treatment measure or stabilization technique that should be highlighted in the environmental management plan. So, the nature of the contaminant, whether it is highly biodegradable or it is slowly biodegradable, and also what would be the short-term impact or long-term impact, all these things are to be considered. That means the net effect or potential risk, if any, which may be caused by this contaminant, that should be known. So, the first paragraph depicts the purpose of knowing the properties and fate of the contaminant and how it can be obtained. This particular information, which is this document is actually the API document, Environmental Impact Assessment document, and what is the role of environmental impact assessment in establishing the properties and fate of the environment, or in establishing the appropriate environmental management steps, that is highlighted in the second paragraph. So you should highlight these two paragraphs, first and second paragraph. First and second paragraph should highlight. Okay. Now, there are several types of contaminants, organic, inorganic, and these organic chemicals, some of the organic chemicals are toxic and also inhibitory. Some of the organic chemicals are highly biodegradable. Inorganic chemicals, there may be some kind of heavy metals, some kinds of non-metals. So, we have to understand the characteristic difference between different kinds of contaminants, out of which the organic chemicals is a unique type, and we are very much familiar with different kinds of organic chemicals. So, I think we should not go for elaborate discussion on the organic chemicals, and also I would not like to keep it in our syllabus content, because organic chemicals we are very much aware. And so, some of the things that we are not aware, these kinds of things that will be highlighted, because this is a subject of environmental management. So we need not look forward to the old content that we have already studied. Okay. So we shall move to
Half of the match is over, and the
we shall
blue
move to
team is in the
the
lead.
page number
कैंप करते रहो, कैंप करते रहो.
29. Page number 29. Page number 29. All of you just go to page number 29. And I think lot of discussion have already been made in your 11-12 regarding the organic compounds, and that is there some organic chemistry was there.
यूट्यूबर को सबसे ज्यादा किल मिल गया, नहीं मिला? अरे
We shall
shit.
relook to some matter which was not discussed earlier. So
मेरे
let
को
us come
14
to
मिला,
table
ये
22.
लास्ट मीटर को
Table 22.
चलो
In
जल्दी
table
जल्दी
22
सब्सक्राइब कर लो.
is the name of more common normal saturated organic acids. Regarding the organic acids, we know that